I think Marvell Tell should get the start over Rocky Sin. Like I said, this is no knock on Rocky Sin at all. We had some good Rocky Sin, we had some bad Rocky Sin, just to be honest. But when it comes to Marvell Tell, who is 6'2", he's 198. He has a 42-inch vertical and a 136-inch broad jump, 80-inch wingspan. I think we would go with a guy like that who is pretty much taller at the position where Rocky Sin is usually placed. I think he'll have the upside advantage going to get certain matchups. Like I said, this is no knock on Rocky Sin. He's had some pretty good moments, but he has some pretty bad moments as well. I think we've seen enough of Rocky Sin at this time. So I think it's time for Marvell Tell, who's missed all of last year, to get his shine in the roster to actually get a position on the spot, on the field. I think it's just time we need to see what he looks like. We kind of in the same position with Jacob Eason. We just want to see what he looks like in general. Of course, most people will say the preseason will tell us all, but I think he actually should get more time in the regular season as well. We've seen how good Isaiah Rodgers is when he played in that playoff game, and he barely sees the field. He just subbed in, and he played lights out. I think he played a very good job against Diggs and those other guys. So I think Marvell Tell, if he steps on the field, I think he can have a really big impact. And with his size and his speed, I think it really fits our scheme very well. I think he can do a really good job at that spot of the field. If it comes down to them splitting reps, I wouldn't be opposed to that either. Throwing something different out there. Our last year issue was not using our secondary as we was supposed to. So I think, adding Tell in to the scheme of things and what we're running, we know the pass rush, if it shows up, our corners are going to show out. It's just as simple as that, because that's how our defense is usually ran. Pass rush has to attack the quarterback to force bad passes. And then our corners, if they're sitting in that zone, they'll pretty much get a pickoff or a deflection. So I think Marvell Tell going up against those tall receivers, other talented guys like that, I think he can actually give an upside to, help instead of Rocky Sin. Rocky Sin has faced a lot of self-disciplinary actions last year with a lot of penalties. But I think he can come back strong in another. Like I said, I'm a Rocky Sin fan. I believe in him. I think he has the courage, and I think he has the skill to do so, to be better. But I think Marvell Tell, just because of his size and his speed and his wingspan, I think it'll help the Colts in the long run going into next season again against a lot of talented rosters. Switching in and out with him and Rocky Sin would probably be a good idea. He has a good secondary core. He has a good help. The middle of the field is being guarded by Darius Leonard and Bobby Okereke. Julian Blackman and Kari Willis is behind him. Kenny Moore is in the nickel. And then you have Xavier Rhodes and TJ Carey on opposite sides. And then you have Marvell Tell pretty much on the opposite side as well. So I think that's a good formation and set I would love to see for the Colts next year. Like I said, Rocky Sin, throw him in whenever you feel like it. But I think Marvell Tell can get the upper hand because I just want to see him play in the regular season. Preseason is not good enough for me. I would like to see him and Isaiah Rodgers get more time in the regular season. Just throwing a different identity out there instead of just having the regular scheme that we usually run with the regular players, because that can get old and pretty much dialed up at any moment with the team that we face that is very familiar, especially in the division that we're running in the AFC South. Our rivals will pretty much know what we're doing at any moment in the second game that we play them, maybe even the first, because we still have the same staff and everything. So I think switching it up with a different feel of secondaries could be a really good thing for us going into the future. Marvell Tell should definitely get the nod on the roster spot. Like I said, most people will say, hey, training camp was right here. We've seen a few flashes of them. We've seen Rocky Sin get baked. We've seen Xavier Rhodes get baked. So, that couldn't really tell us anything. Preseason, not really going to use that as an excuse. I just want to see him in a regular season. He's showing up to camp. I think he should get the nod just because off of that and his size and speed. Like, if you look at the roster and the depth chart and you see what we're matched up against, I think that's how we should use Rock and Marvell Tell. I think that's how we should use it based on matchup. If we're going up against a certain guy, that's when you would throw him in there. So, nobody's really not getting their playing time cut. I think we should just go by matchup. Throwing Rocky Sin out there in his rookie year, throwing him out there against top talent was never a good idea in my opinion. Of course, that plays a mental role on the player. You're thrown into the fire as soon as you get drafted and you're going up against top talent. I mean, I don't know what you're expecting. He wasn't even the top pick. And he was out there going up against top receivers. Like, I mean, it's a learning experience, but yeah, you're going to get cooked. You're going to have some good days and bad days when you're in Rocky Sin's shoes. So, like I said, I can't really slander Rocky Sin because he was thrown out there in the fire. But Marvell tell, I mean, give him the same treatment. Throw him out there in the fire. Go up against some top receivers. Let's see what he got. You know, he missed the whole year. We ain't seen no potential in yet in the regular season. So I think he should get that same treatment. Throw him out there against some good guys. See where his mind's at, where his skill set is. I think he can have the advantage. I think he can. I think he'll go out there and perform. Just as simple as that. If you just throw him out there and see what he got. But I think for the defensive perspective, like I said, if the pass rush is out there attacking the quarterback every other possession, the secondary, no matter who's out there, is going to have a good day. It's just as simple as that. Like, that's why I still have faith in Rocky Sin. If the pass rush is there, you would not really see those disciplinary actions for Rocky Sin last season because the pass rush is invisible. Just as simple as that. We didn't have any of that last year. We were very slow coming off the edge, and the quarterback had 5,000 years in the pocket, or even ran for a first down sometimes, and then it forced the corners to do more than what they need to do. So it left a lot of people open. Hey, just look at that Texans game. The first and second game, for example. We had a lot of players, even the Jaguars game, we had a lot of players open in the field for like 5 years. Now, of course, Deshaun Watson's a freaking animal when he's out there on the field playing quarterback, you know, his mobility and his arm strength. But there was a lot of open plays due to lack of pass rush. When the secondary was just sitting in the zone, they couldn't go guard it. So it was unfortunate, but we still wind up winning the game. Shout out to Darius Leonard. But, you know, the secondary, they have to be on their P's and Q's, but the pass rush is hand in hand with our guys. So like I said, Rocky Sin can come back next year. By the looks of this training camp, the potential is there with Kwity Paye and Ben Banigou. You know, Teray is out there as well. Muhammad, Grover Stewart, they're all out there making plays on the pass rush. Now, of course, our offensive line in training camp isn't, you know, the first strings, but due to injuries. But, you know, if we want to go off potential, if the pass rush can look anything like that in the season, from what they're looking like in the camp, our secondaries are going to have some good games. Now, of course, you know, the wide receivers out there, Michael Pittman Jr., Pascal, they're all out there catching. Michael Strachan, I don't know how to pronounce his name because you guys corrected me in the chat. Well, I'll just call him Mike. Mike is out there. They're all out there making great plays. You know, the corners are there, you know, getting a hand in, swatting and everything, but they're just so tall and athletic, they can go catch the football. So that leads me to, like I said in the beginning, if our pass rush is anything like they're showing right now in the training camp, or even if they show any flashes in the preseason, our secondary, which is Rocky Sin, that I'm mentioning, and Marvell Tell, hey, even Isaiah Rodgers, if he's thrown in the game, they will have a good season. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Should Marvell Tell see more minutes on the field? Should he take Rocky Sin's spot? Let me know your thoughts on both of those corners in the comment section. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.